Hello and welcome to Your Government in Action, a presentation of Bahamas Information Services. I'm Carissa Williamson. Senior law enforcement officials gathered at Atlanta's Paradise Island Resort from September 11th to the 13th, 2024 for Interpol's 26th Americas Regional Conference. The three-day conference discussed such topics as artificial intelligence as well as major crimes, including human and drug trafficking.
It is a distinct honor to welcome you to the Bahamas for the 26th Interpol Americas Regional Conference. Our assembly here reflects the critical need for a unified and strategic response to the growing complexities of transnational crime. From organized criminal networks to cyber threats, human trafficking and illegal arms and drug trades, these challenges transcend borders, requiring solutions that are grounded in international cooperation. Interpol is a cornerstone in fostering these high-level partnerships, enabling law enforcement agencies to work seamlessly across jurisdictions. Through collaboration, intelligence sharing, and joint operations, we fortify our collective security framework. The strength of our partnerships lies not only in our shared commitment, but also in the integration of our resources, expertise, and resolve to protect our citizens and secure our region. It is this collective effort that will ensure we remain resilient in the face of evolving trends and threats. In today's rapidly changing world, criminal networks are becoming more sophisticated and adaptable, making it essential that our approach to combating these threats evolves in tandem. No single nation can face these challenges alone. The need for a shared, coordinated response has never been more critical. Our collective success depends on our ability to work together, pooling our resources, intelligence, and best practices. This shared approach strengthens our capacity to anticipate, prevent, and respond to criminal activities that threaten the safety and stability of our nations. By aligning our strategies and deepening our cooperation, we not only enhance our national security efforts, but also contribute to the overall security of the region. The Bahamas recognizes the importance of this collaboration. We have invested in advanced technology, reinforce our legal framework, and enhance our law enforcement capabilities. However, these efforts are only as strong as the partnerships we build with our international counterparts. Our shared commitment to safeguarding our societies is what makes this conference and our continued cooperation so essential. While we often focus on the technical aspects of crime prevention, intelligence sharing, law enforcement strategies, and legal frameworks, it is essential that we never lose sight of the human cost. Behind every statistic lies the reality of individuals and families whose lives are disrupted or destroyed by the impact of crime. Whether it is human trafficking, drug smuggling, or violent crime, the human toll is profound, particularly in vulnerable communities. In the Caribbean and Latin America, we have seen firsthand how organized crime infiltrates our societies, exploiting economic vulnerabilities and eroding social cohesion. The illicit activities we face not only undermine our economies, but also compromise the very fabric of our communities. This makes it all the more important that we address not just the symptoms of crime, but the root causes that allow these networks to thrive. By strengthening our cooperation through Interpol, we not only enhance our ability to dismantle criminal networks, but also to protect the most vulnerable amongst us. Our shared commitment must extend beyond law enforcement. It must also focus on reducing the socioeconomic conditions that make our citizens susceptible to criminal exploitation. Addressing this human impact is key to ensuring lasting security and stability across our region. As we reflect on the discussions and the collaborations during this conference, it is clear that the strength of our relationship has never been more important. The challenges we face are dynamic, but so too are the opportunities for deepening our ties and enhancing our collective security. This conference represents not just an exchange of ideas, but a reaffirmation of our shared commitment to a safer and more secure future for our nations. Moving forward, it is vital that we continue to build on the progress made here. Our collaboration through Interpol must remain proactive, adaptive, and resilient. By reinforcing our partnerships and constantly evolving our strategies, we will be better equipped to anticipate and respond to emerging trends.
The country's third busiest airport is set for an economic boost through a multi-million-dollar expansion to its facilities. The North Eleuthera International Airport is expecting massive growth as the government of the Bahamas signed a $55 million loan agreement with the Saudi Fund for Development. The signing took place at the North Eleuthera International Airport on September 9, 2024.
Friends, today marks an important chapter for this island. And it is a privilege to witness Eleuthera's tremendous progress firsthand. This land, Eleuthera, rich in heritage and tradition, is now one of the fastest growing economies of our country. You've seen the changes all around you. New businesses, thriving tourism, and a brighter future on the horizon. What truly matters isn't just the numbers we celebrate. It's you, the people of Eleuthera. It's the hard-working families who have called Eleuthera home for generations, and the younger ones who now see even greater possibilities for their future. The steady rise in air arrivals and international interests isn't just about visitors coming to enjoy the beauty of Eleuthera, but all about the Eleutheran people themselves, its economy, its culture, and environment that offers much to the world, and how this island's strengths will produce growth within the local economy, creating jobs and new opportunities for everyone who calls this island home. Eleuthera's strength lies in its people, and together we are building a future that reflects that strength and that ambition. This partnership with the Saudi Fund for Development marks a turning point for Eleuthera and its people. For years, there has been talk about upgrading the North Eleuthera International Airport. But today, we are moving from talk to action. This $55 million investment is about unlocking Eleuthera's potential and ensuring that its people can fully benefit from this island's rapid growth. The upgrade to the airport means a stronger local economy, more jobs, and greater opportunities for businesses. By enhancing the airport's capacity to handle more visitors, we are directly supporting the tourism sector, which is at the heart of Eleuthera's economy. This investment will help bring in more international flights, increase connectivity to the rest of the Bahamas, and open up new avenues for local entrepreneurs. The partnership with the Saudi Fund for Development allows us to move forward with confidence. Their support, coupled with the low interest rate of 2.5%, ensures that we can deliver on this long-awaited project in a way that is both sustainable and beneficial for the people. Not to talk about the fact that we have to pay that for 5 years. For the residents of Eleuthera, this airport represents progress. It signifies that the growth of this island is being matched by the necessary investments to improve facilities in this island. Easier travel, increased economic activity, and more opportunities for employment are just a few of the new immediate benefits this project will bring. This is part of a larger plan to ensure that Eleuthera and all family islands are equipped for the future.
With the goal of discussing the way forward in the field of corrections, leaders from across the Caribbean gathered for the 13th Annual Association of the Caribbean Heads of Corrections and Prison Services Conference. The conference took place at the British Colonial Hotel on September 9th, 2024.
It is clear that correctional facilities operate for punishment and rehabilitation. The theme of this conference, From Theory to Reality, Shaping the Future of Corrections and Prison in the Caribbean, really throws down the gauntlet to us all to step up to make good plans a reality. Those 5 pillars flow very nicely, eh? You can say all of it moving from one to the next. That's the theory. The challenge is to make it a reality. I'll give you an example. In the Bahamas, in 2014, the Christie administration passed an act, and we changed the name of our facility from Her Majesty's Prison at Fox Hill. Such an elegant name for a prison, eh? Her Majesty's Prison at Fox Hill. And we changed it to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. That was over a decade ago. While we have worked aggressively to make the facility match its name, we admit that it is still a work in progress. Indeed, we are currently seeking to have 2 of our housing units, 2 or 3, 3 of our housing units accredited by the American Correctional Association as correctional facilities. We have not been successful to date. And so that will tell you that it is really important to make the theory reality. And we will continue to work at that. All of you as heads lead institutions that are unlike any other place in a country. The persons in your institution, apart from the ones being held on remand, are acknowledged failures by society. And I don't say that they are failures. They are failures of society. All of them have offended the laws. And you have the burden of administering punishment. And I hasten to say that the courts award punishment, and the punishment is simply deprivation of your liberty. That is it. Nothing more, nothing less. The courts do not sentence a man to have his family relations destroyed. A court does not sentence a man's partner to prison with him. The court does not sentence a man's children to prison with him or impose any punishment on them. The court does not sentence him to be treated cruel or to be kept in oppressive condition, nor does the court dictate that we must dehumanize the offender. None of that is included in the pillar called punishment. The simple punishment is deprivation of your liberty if you are sent to the facility and if you're given a non-custodial outcome, whatever those conditions are. Indeed, if you were to do any of the things that I say the court does not sentence the man to, rehabilitating him will be much more difficult. I wish that we all ponder that for the strongest of us, being in prison would affect our mental health. For the strongest of us. As I say, as a young lawyer stepping inside the gate to hear the door slam, affected my mental state for that short period of time. And so it is important as you exercise your domain of punishment and rehabilitation that we understand and accept that how we punish will affect the likely success of rehabilitation. It is the case that many of our institutions, the physical plant is not conducive to rehabilitation. I often told persons that when I visited the prison, I always visited after lunch, because after I came from the prison, I could not eat for hours. So that is a reality, not theory. That is a reality of the condition of Fox Hill Prison from 1990, sadly, to the present. I still would not visit unless I would have hours before I eat. After much advocating, cajoling, taking me to Faith United Baptist Church, and getting a promise in front of Reverend Dr. Thompson, I'm pleased to say that the reform of our physical plant made it to the budget book in the past budget exercise, that shortly Commissioner Clare and his team ought to have a better place to work, because all correctional officers work in these institutions. As citizens, we must never forget that. The persons who work in the condition live in the condition as well. They will get their wish of having an upgraded facility. In fact, I'm told the proposed provider has set for our viewing one of the housing pods that will make up the accommodation. It is important, as we tackle crime, that we understand that in excess of 95% of persons going into our facilities will exit our facilities.
More of Your Government in Action when we return. Welcome back. As climate change continues to be a concern for small island developing states such as the Bahamas, the government of the Bahamas was presented a coral reef early warning system by USAID through the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center. The presentation took place at the Ministry of Energy and Transport on September 10th, 2024.
Okay, so what the government of the Bahamas just got, the Department of Meteorology now just added to its asset, is what we call a coral reef early warning system. And what that is, that's a buoy that we would sit in the water above a coral reef, we attach it to the coral reef when it will be in the water. What it will do is actually give us conditions of what's going on around the coral reef in terms of the water temperature, the salinity, and the turbidity. And with that information, we'll be able to tell if the coral reef would be in danger of bleaching. We don't want our coral reefs to bleach out because of its importance to the fishing industry. So we don't want those coral reefs to die out. So this equipment now will tell us what's going on in our water. It will also tell us what's going on in the air just above the water, because it gives atmospheric meteorological conditions also. So now that we have this equipment, we'll be able to monitor water temperature as it changes, as it increases or decreases, and we'll be able to tell right away whether our coral reefs are in danger. Well, yes, it definitely gives all of the elements as far as the meteorological information is concerned. That's air temperature, dew point, pressure, wind, all of that it gives. But however now, when we're talking about hurricanes, when hurricanes become, especially major hurricanes, uh, the buoy would not be able to take the kind of pressure from a hurricane out there on the open waters. So we'll have to go in. If we know we expect a major hurricane to pass through, we'll have to take it in to secure it. So it'll give us conditions going on. It probably tropical storm, maybe a Category 1 hurricane. But if we go above that threshold, we have to consider taking it out of the water. Yes, it's a tool that we use, not only for tropicals, but also for everyday forecasting, because we have mariners out there who depend on our forecast every day. So they want to know what the sea conditions will be like. So when we make a forecast to say what level the seas would be like, this boy would be able to tell us exactly what's going on out there. So we'll be able to pass this information on to our mariners out there. Well, what it's going to allow us to do now is that we'll be able to, first of all, it'll give us information that will assist us in making more accurate forecasts. On top of that, this instrument will also be able to verify our forecasts. So we say we expect the seas to be a certain level. This instrument will be out there telling us exactly what the level of the sea is like. So we verify whether our forecast is on cue or not, and if not, what's the problem, what we need to deal with to get it done. Very significant piece of equipment for us, especially when it comes to coral reef monitoring and also marine forecasting.
The Bahamas Investment Authority has, over the course of 3 years, processed approximately $9 billion in investments, laying the foundation for development in the job market in the Bahamas. This, according to Felicia Woods, the Director of Investments, at a press conference held at the Office of the Prime Minister on September 12, 2024.
So to date, I'm pleased to report that the Bahamas Investment Authority, since September of 2021, has processed $3.13 billion worth of certificate of registrations and $4.08 billion worth of value for permit applications in our country. What those applications are, real estate. Any foreign person that comes to our shores, they have to come to the Bahamas Investment Authority in order to provide, in the first instance, a certificate of registration, and in the second instance, a permit, an International Persons Landholding Act permit. I'm pleased to report over the course of the 3 years for the Family of Islands, the Bahamas Investment Authority has processed a $9 billion worth of investments, capital investments in our country. And from those $9 billion worth of projects, we have projected that in excess of 15,000 jobs will be created for Bahamians. And when I talk about jobs, I'm not just talking about construction jobs, but permanent jobs that allow for the growth and development of the Bahamian people. Also, out of those, the $9 billion worth of capital investment that has been processed to date by the Bahamas Investment Authority will come a number of entrepreneurial opportunities. Over the last 2 to 3 weeks, you would have witnessed a number of heads of agreement signings by the government of the Bahamas with individual developers. At the forefront of each of those developments is the opportunities for Bahamians and those items coming into realization. Looking into the future, the Bahamas Investment Authority will continue to facilitate foreign direct investments for the country in the best interest of the people, and we will also be focusing on the monitoring and evaluation of the $9 billion worth of investments that I would have spoken about. What does that mean? We are assigning project managers to continue to track projects, assist developers with navigating through the government system, where there are opportunities for Bahamians, marrying those opportunities of domestic investors with foreign investors. We are also working very diligently to identify, the market needs for developers and matching that with the supply and the local capacity that currently exists. Well, there are a number of different job opportunities that will be available in the operational phase of different developments. Of course, tourism continues to be the main industry that we see inflow of foreign direct investments. So most of those jobs would be in the tourism-related sectors at various levels. We try to manage the operational jobs and maximize on the opportunities that are available for Bahamians through what we call a labor and immigration protocol. What that does is the Bahamas Investment Authority would work with developers to understand in their minds what are the market needs and what they think are not jobs or not that do not have the local capacity, and we work with the Ministry of Labor to fine-tune that listing to make sure that Bahamians have more operational jobs. So that's permanent jobs for Bahamians. In that $9 billion figure that I would have quoted to you, there are a number of jobs in the manufacturing industrial sector. You would have seen about 2 weeks ago, we would have signed a heads of agreement with the Grand Bahama Shipyard. That's probably one of the biggest investments for Grand Bahama to date. We hope that we'll have more in the coming weeks for you. But they're in various sectors. We hope to see more in, of course, manufacturing, industrial, aviation sector, maritime industry. Our promotional strategy is to look at those areas where there are potential by island and fine-tune and be aggressive in our promotional strategy to seek those investments from various jurisdictions throughout the world. And it's important as a government to make sure that government agencies work together. A part of investments is also infrastructural development, right? Making sure that the infrastructure is in place to promote an island. And so we've been working very closely with the Department of Aviation to get an understanding of timelines as it relates to the Grand Bahama International Airport, because that helps us with our promotional strategy as well, and even just reporting mechanism in our monitoring and evaluation phase for those projects that are approved currently. So we do work hand in hand to make sure that we promote the islands such as Grand Bahama, which has a great potential. What you would also see is with our family of islands, there are different cultures that exist. And so working within those cultural items, and when I say culture, I mean you may find on the island of Grand Bahama manufacturing may work better, but in Andros, agriculture may be a targeted area that is more of a great potential. So we work with the various government agencies to help with promotion of the islands.
I'm Carissa Williamson, and this has been Your Government in Action, a proud presentation of Bahamas Information Services. Join us on Tuesday evenings, where we bring you highlights, coverage, and information as we continue to do what we do best, linking people and government.